What up, guys? Your boy Quake back with a brand new episode of the Diverse Mentality Podcast, number 313, powered by the one and only Golden Eagle Energy Drink. Get your Golden Eagle Energy Drinks at drinkgoldeneagle.com/DMP. That's drinkgoldeneagle.com/DMP. They sponsored all season 4 of the podcast, so show them love for showing us love. I'm actually about to pop a can right now because I haven't had much to drink and I need more energy. Not that I don't have enough right now. Yeah, I just needed to do that because I haven't done that actually on the podcast. And there's one guy commenting like, "Oh, you're pushing a drink and you don't even drink it." I'm like, "Come on, man. Bro, I'm not supposed to sit here and drink all day 24/7 on the podcast." But we talked about that I think a few episodes. It's funny, man. The internet. Sometimes I get sucked into this internet bullshit and I fall for it and I'm like, what am I doing? Why am I responding to somebody just either trolling or truly believing their stupidity sometimes? I'm not talking about that guy specifically about the drink thing, but just in general, I'll have conversations with people and I'm like, why am I responding to this when it's like the dumbest conversation? First, thank you all to all of you guys that showed me love for the Diddy $1 million hit documentary. Thank you so much. When I premiered it, one of the first comments, which was kind of disappointing, was, I hope this is like 3 hours long because you've been hyping it forever. I will never make a documentary super long for no reason. This was the perfect amount of time. I just wanted to, and this is another thing that I predicted in the comments I would get is, "Oh, Quake, you missed this. Oh, Quake, this didn't really happen like this." Remember, this is a 28-year-old beef. And there's so many stories that are conflicting so many times, and people's memories on what they tell of what happened is so conflicting that I am super proud of myself. And I really don't give myself pats on the back often, but this time I did. I'm proud of myself for figuring out the timeline perfectly on what happened at certain moments of when Diddy talked to certain people about putting the hit on Pac, allegedly, right? And even Keepy D and Vlad didn't even get it right when they were talking during their interview. So the fact that I corrected that in my documentary, figured out timelines of when certain things happened as best as I could, given the fact that it was 28 years ago, and a lot of the stuff was even 20 years ago, I did the best that I could. And I felt like I did the best job possible that I haven't seen relating to Diddy in this $1 million hit. I didn't cover everything in the beef because this is not Tupac versus Biggie. This is just a story about Diddy potentially putting a hit on Tupac. And I wanted to cover the main points or issues that they had that elevated the beef for Diddy in Diddy's eyes, right? Like when the Big Jake thing happened, in Diddy's eyes, he started fearing for his life and said, "Can I come out to California?" Because, after that incident, it was a major thing in his life that, hey, I was worried about Big CEO, aka Shook. So those are the moments that I was highlighting, the moments that I felt like Diddy felt the beef was escalated, like the Tupac hit him up track. That's where, in Diddy's mind, based on the reports, felt like, hey, this hit was initially put for Suge Knight, but now I'm gonna add on Tupac because he's running his mouth because of the hit him up track. So, for people commenting, I don't even know if they watch the podcast. Some people that watch it don't. Some people that do. My goal in this documentary wasn't to highlight every single point of their beef of Tupac and Biggie. It was just to highlight points that escalated it in Diddy's eyes, basically. Or at least escalated the Suge and Diddy situation. But I'm happy with it. I'm happy with the results. I'm happy right now with the views. I think we're at, as of the recording, 75,000 in about 3 days. That's not bad. I'm happy with that. If we can get like 150,000 in like a week, I'll be happy with that. Yeah, I'm happy with overall just how it came out. I tried a lot of new things in terms of timelines that I got great feedback on. I'm happy with it. I have a bunch of different ones coming out pretty soon here in September. Actually, it is September right now as I'm recording this. So I'll have a few. I'm kind of conflicted on what I should do, in certain parts of certain documentaries. But I'll figure that out and get back to working and getting those out as well. Because a lot of them have been like started and they were paused and then I went into something else. And then because a lot of these documentaries that I do, either I end up creatively getting stuck somewhere or something else happens and my attention goes to that and then I kind of just leave it there. Because the Diddy one started in like late December like in terms of just research, not like script writing or any of that stuff, just terms of research. It started back then, and then, the Diddy getting his house raided, all the lawsuits, and then Drake versus Kendrick Lamar, so on and so forth. All that happened, and that kind of pushed it away. But yeah, be on the lookout. I'm going to be doing a lot more Tupac-esque content, because now that I'm kind of in the world there and I figured out certain timelines, I think I'm going to touch on certain different beefs that he had. So be on the lookout for that. It's going to be a little bit more Tupac content because I know I've never really covered Tupac on the channel in terms of beefs or stuff like that. So I know a lot of you guys have been wanting that. Let's get into the news, and unfortunately, we're going to start off sad. Fatman Scoop, legendary voice in hip-hop, man. He's viewed as like the voice of hip-hop clubs, and has been on a lot of classic records where he's hyped them up a lot, and he's died at the age of 53. So let's go over the article. Fatman Scoop has died after collapsing on stage during a performance in Hamden, Connecticut. Scoop, whose real name was Isaac Freeman III, was 53. He was performing at Hamden Tower Center Park on Friday, August 30th, when he suddenly fell down. He received CPR and was taken to a nearby hospital, according to CT Insider. However, in the early morning hours of Saturday, August 31st, Scoop's DJ and tour manager, Birch Pure Cold Michael, confirmed that the rapper had passed away. I am honestly lost for words, Michael wrote on Instagram. You took me all over the world and had me performing alongside you on some of the biggest and greatest stages on this planet. The things you taught me have truly made me the man I am today. Thank you so much. I love you. Scoop's death was also confirmed by the Remnants Festival, a UK festival where he was scheduled to perform this fall. This loss has left us all heartbroken, the festival's Instagram account posted. Scoop was scheduled to perform at this year's Remnants Festival, and his absence will be profoundly felt by everybody. He was not just one of our most popular performers, he was a cherished member of the Remnants family. His energy, talent, and infectious spirit will be missed more than words can express. Scoop was best known for his high energy guest appearances on Missy Elliott's Lose Control and Mariah Carey's It's Like That. His breakthrough song was 1999's Be Faithful, which was re-released in 2003. Continuing on, his family released a statement on the Instagram. So I'm going to read this whole thing. They posted on his Instagram. It says, a message from the Freeman family. It is with profound sadness and very heavy hearts that we share news of the passing of the legendary and iconic Fatman Scoop. Last night, the world lost a radiant soul, a beacon of light on the stage and in life. Fatman Scoop was not just a world-class performer. He was a father, brother, uncle, and a friend. He was the laughter in our lives, a constant source of support, unwavering strength, and courage. Fatman Scoop was known to the world as the undisputed voice of the club. His music made us dance and embrace life with positivity. His joy was infectious, and the generosity he extended to all will be deeply missed but never forgotten. As we mourn the lost Fatman Scoop, we also celebrate his remarkable life and countless lives he's touched. Fatman Scoop's legacy is of love and brightness. It will reside in our hearts and memories forever. Well, here's the thing, man. Incredibly sad. There's video footage of him actually performing at the place. And his last words, I think, it was like, put your hands up, and want to hear you. Or something like, he hypes up crowds. So I forget exactly word for word. I don't want to misquote. But, he said that first with a lot of energy. And then he goes up stage and then he says it again. And then he just collapses. It's a very sad video. I'm not going to show it to you guys because, I don't think even YouTube allows that type of content. And just out of respect for him and his family, I don't think, that's something that they want to hear about or see. But here's why this hit me harder than most celebrities or hip-hop icons that pass, right? Fatman Scoop, me and Fatman Scoop were actually somebody that communicated with each other. I talked about Mr. C, DJ Mr. C, who passed away earlier this year, which is wild because DJ Mr. C and Fatman Scoop were really close friends, so they passed away in the same year. This DJ Mr. C passed away in April 2024. Now Fatman Scoop passed away in August 2024. These two individuals actually reached out to me and showed me love for my content, which this was in 2019. At this time, you got to remember, I was fairly new to the YouTube content world. Yeah, it's been about 2.5 years in 2019, right? And, getting hip-hop icons like DJ Mr. C and Fatman Scoop, to show me love, some random fucking guy on the internet touching on hip hop beefs and just news and whatever, was like, it was, I don't know how to explain it. It was out of this world. I was so happy. And he actually sent me voice notes, which I still have on the Instagram, which I'm not going to play for you guys, but I will share the message he reached out to me with. So let me go on my Instagram and find it really quick. It left me speechless, man. And it just shows what great of a person Fatman Scoop is. He was really, really just a genuinely great person. The voice notes we shared back and forth, we talked about hip hop and just cool things left and right. And anytime I would message him, he would respond. Great guy, man. This guy, and DJ Mr. C, he wasn't the one that was messaging me, but he just said, hey, DJ Mr. C and me were watching. So this is what he said. This is what he reached out with. The first, so I'm going to post it on the actual video version so you guys can see. But it says post unavailable above the message. And what I used to do back then was I had my personal page, Quake GW, where I would post the beef, videos. Now that I have the Diverse Mentality Instagram page, I post all my like major documentaries that I premiere on that page. And on the Quake GW, it's really just my personal page that I just post whatever. So back then I would post my actual documentaries on there. So he sent me, I remember he sent me the 50 and Ja Rule one, the thumbnail that I uploaded on my personal page. He sent it to me, and then this is what he said with the post. This is back in February 15th, 2019. He said, man, you need this shit on Netflix. Me and Mr. C were at the barbershop looking at the 51. And I was like, which 51? I'm assuming it's 50 versus Ja Rule. It was mad thorough and researched. I was in shock, bro. Like, I had that day, I was jumping up and down like a little kid, man. These are individuals that played a major role in the way I grew up listening to hip hop. I mean, I always remember Fatman Scoop's voice in the beginning of You Got Served, the movie. Going in there, whatever he says, whatever I say, y'all gotta do whatever I say. Like, it's just so, oh my God, man. And we went back and forth, man. I just said, hey, got your email, because he did email me. Thank you so much. That means the world. Let me actually see if I can find the email, because he did originally email me. And he actually, I don't know, we never followed up on this, but he said, has anyone taken you to Netflix? So he tried at one point to help me with a Netflix potential deal. And I forgot all about this, but yeah, he sent me, we were supposed to chat about a lot of things, just never ended up happening. Amazing guy, man. Amazing guy. And, for somebody like that, that's what I'm saying. Like, certain people, man, they're just a beacon of light, and his family's right, man. He just showed love, appreciation. I mean, I'm just a random YouTuber. I'm sure he's done that to thousands of other people. Any content creator he probably saw online, he showed love to. And that's what I appreciate. I love the people that are iconic, legendary, that reach out and show love to anybody that they notice doing cool things, man. It meant the world to me, and it still means the world to me. So rest in peace to Fatman Scoop. I woke up that morning really, really sad, and it was mourning his loss. And it's sad to see the video, man. It got me teary-eyed, and yeah, man. Sad situation. Rest in peace to him. Condolences to his family and friends. Big shout out to him for reaching out, man. It meant the world to me, and rest in peace. He's in a better place, and he'll forever be cemented in hip hop. And this is the sad thing about, we were celebrating hip hop 50-year anniversary, right? But we got to remember too, the people who started hip hop, the pillars of this thing, are slowly starting to pass away. Because as time goes on, people get older, start having health issues, all kinds of things. And yeah, man, just sad situation. But yeah, we'll keep our eyes posted and see if any updates come out of this in terms of what happened to him when he collapsed. But yeah, rest in peace. Updates on the Julio Foolio alleged killers. They decided to plead not guilty. No surprise there. Let's go over the article. Julio Foolio's alleged killers have pleaded not guilty to murdering the rapper, though a fifth suspect still remains at large from police. Foolio was shot to death in June while celebrating his 26th birthday, while 3 of his friends were also wounded in the incident. That I had no idea about. I didn't know other people were wounded. It did not take long for the 3 suspects to round up the cops, which is Isaiah Chance, Alicia Andrews, and Sean Gathright, arrested in July in connection to the murder. Rashad Murphy, a 4th suspect, was arrested just days later. Chance, Andrews, and Gathright all pled not guilty to murder at their arraignment in Tampa, while Murphy will go before a judge next month once he has been transferred. A fifth suspect, Davian Murphy, remains at large despite a police search for the alleged killer. Gathright was allegedly involved in a prior attempt on Foolio's life when he was shot in October last year. Yeah, so we'll keep our eyes posted. Just a quick update on that. Travis Scott, the trespassing lawsuit has been dropped. Of course, Travis Scott's, married to a billionaire. He's rich himself, so why not? Travis Scott is now completely off the hook for the charges stemming from his June arrest for disorderly intoxication and trespassing in Miami. TMZ reported Friday, August 30th, that the last hurdle in the matter, a misdemeanor trespassing charge, was officially dropped after his legal counsel argued there were no clear no trespassing signs, which I actually watched the body cam footage, which I talked about before. There's no clear signs, so I kind of had a, suspicion that he would be able to have this case dropped because he didn't really act irate and crazy out there. So prosecutors had previously dropped the disorderly intoxication charge against Travis Scott during a hearing earlier this month, but had decided to move forward with the trespassing charge. So they officially dropped it. So basically nothing happened out of that whole situation. Travis Scott is rich, so no surprise there. Updates on the game's sexual battery lawsuit, and it's reaching new levels, guys. This is getting very crazy out here. So let's go over the article. The game has been tracked down and served papers by a private investigator as he continues to try and dodge the consequences to losing a sexual battery civil suit. The Compton rapper lost a $7 million lawsuit filed against him by Priscilla Rainey and has continually refused to pay the money owed. According to court documents obtained by All Hip Hop, Rainey hired the services of a private investigator, Robert Cedillo Jr., who told a California court that he served the game with an order about the proposed sale of his home to fulfill the $7 million debt, as well as a notice of an upcoming hearing. The rapper was served on August 22nd and has not yet responded to the order. The game has owed Rainey $7 million since 2016 and may be forced to sell his house to meet the large figure. He is expected to be in court on October 7th to argue against the sale of his home in Calabasas to clear the debt. That's going to be a hell of a day, October 7th, for the game. That will be interesting. Will he actually show up, or will he still completely pretend like this lawsuit doesn't exist? Game, just do the thing that 50 Cent did. Learn from 50. File bankruptcy. Pretend like you're broke. Okay? We're going to be talking about 50's net worth a little bit later down the line relating to Rick Ross because it's hilarious. But just file bankruptcy. Act like you're broke. You don't have it. I know you're switching your names into a lot of Whack 100 stuff and pretend like Whack 100 owns the label and owns the house and all the stuff. Reality is, bro, you're living in it. It's going to be very hard. I don't know how California law goes, but in Georgia law, it has to be the person's name attached to the home or whatever for anything to be seized. If it's not, there's no chance. I don't care if it's the wife has his name attached to it, mother, anybody related, blah, blah, blah. But I don't know California. I don't know how laws go there, but just file the fucking bankruptcy thing, man. Get it out the way. You guys can negotiate like 50 did. 50 negotiated prices when he filed his bankruptcy because he got the headphone lawsuit for copyright or whatever it was. I forget what it was. It was basically copyright infringement and basically stealing the idea of Sleek Audio, which was the company 50 was working with initially and then transferred over to Kono Audio, which ended up being SMS Audio. You lost that lawsuit or whatever happened there at like 19-something million or whatever the amount was, and then lost the lawsuit at Rick Ross' ex-baby mama, who won $5 million or something like that, or $7 million, whatever the amount, $10 million, whatever the amount was, I forget. But 50 filed bankruptcy, negotiated the prices down drastically. Now, they did get paid. Both of them got paid. Rick Ross' ex-baby mama got paid, but it was nowhere near the amount she was asking for because 50 filed bankruptcy and said, I'm broke. I ain't got the money. And it's that simple. You can get out of this situation, game. Stop running from your problems. Just deal with it. She got you. It is what it is. Move forward with your life. File the bankruptcy. She already got $400,000 out of you. So maybe you can negotiate another $1 million, maybe. I don't know, because she's asked for $7 million. So you potentially get her down as long as she gets her money and she doesn't have to work to constantly try to get her money. Because here's the thing, too. When you're suing somebody and you're trying to collect your money and it's taking years upon years, it's just going to frustrate you. You'd much rather just settle something with a person instead of having to constantly. She's going to be year after year chasing for this money. So I think she would accept a settlement of a certain amount. Obviously, if it's from 7 million to automatically 500,000, she won't accept that. I doubt she will. $1 million, 1.5, even maybe 2 around there, she will accept that, man. That's $1.5 million for free. $2 million for free, $1 million for free. It's like, she'll accept that. So just, lawyers will talk shit down. At least the lawyers will convince her and be like, at least you're guaranteed money. This way, if you're constantly chasing after a game, the chance of you getting the money is going to be, it's going to take years and years and years. So that's where the negotiation process starts. So game, come on, man. Do better than this. Figure this shit out. Get it down out the way. We'll see October 7th. That's going to be a hell of a day to see what happens. If it doesn't get pushed back, because everything in court seems to get pushed back. We had the Dame Dash fucking Rockefeller auction. Shit got pushed back. We had the YNW Melly case pushed back. We had this pushed back. So hopefully it happens October 7th and see what happens when it does happen. But we'll keep our eyes posted. Irv Gotti has revealed after suffering a stroke that he is working on a DMX biopic. Let's go over the article. Irv Gotti is reportedly on the mend from the stroke he recently suffered and already back to work on a biopic about the late DMX. The music executive's rep spoke with the Shade Room on Wednesday, August 28th, assuring that Gotti is doing well and appreciates everyone's concerns about his health. I'm getting older, that's all Gotti said. According to his rep, only thing worse than getting old is not getting old. Facts, man. Round of applause, Irv Gotti. That's a great way of looking at it. In addition to revealing the DMX movie, his rep also said Gotti was upset that WAC 100 revealed the private news about his health to the world. Here's the thing, though. First, I was excited about this, right? DMX biopic would be beautiful if done properly. I had planned on working on a DMX documentary a while ago when he passed. I pushed it. I'm going to be pushing it back till April 9th, which is the anniversary of his death. I want to put it out then. I was going to do it his birthday, which is, I believe, is December 18th. I could be wrong. I was going to drop it on December 18th, but I'm working on so many different other projects that I think the proper time would be, that would give me great time, would be me working on it in March and then releasing it on April 9th. Because it's going to be a long one. I have like a lot of ideas of how I want to do it because DMX's career spans from the 90s till 2000 and whatever, 20, whenever he passed, I think 2021. So got a long career that we can go over. And I just want to cover his story really well because he's got a lot of different things in his story that is interesting. And there's a lot of conspiracy theories in his story as well. So I want to do that properly. If I'm going to cover his life story, I want to do it, as best as I can. I did the Nipsey Hussle one that got the most views ever. Did Pop Smoke, got a lot of views. King Von got a lot of views. Young Dolph's about to reach 1 million views. The only one that didn't perform really that well is Juice WRLD because I think just my audience isn't really a Juice WRLD audience. So that's the only one that didn't really perform that well. The rest did, but I do want to do a DMX one, and I want to do it properly because I got a lot of ideas for it. And I've actually written a lot of like pieces of it, but I still got to read his book, the book that he wrote about his life. I want to get that down packed and get stories from there, and then go really deep into it. But what happened was after he announced this, DMX's ex-wife, Tarisha Simmons, denied working with Irv Gotti. So this is what she said in her Instagram caption. She said, in light of recent speculation, we want to clarify that we are not currently working with Irv Gotti, nor have we agreed to partner with him on any content related to Earl Simmons, which is DMX, including a biopic. Earl Simmons, known professionally as DMX, is an iconic figure in the music industry whose life and story holds significant importance. As we move forward with any potential projects related to his legacy, we are committed to ensuring they are handled with the utmost respect and integrity. We appreciate the support and interest from fans and the public regarding Earl Simmons' story. Any official announcement regarding future projects will be communicated through our official channels. The Simmons family. Round of applause, man. I think the only people that can do this properly is 50 Cent with Unit Films Television. That's not even a bias. I just think 50 knows the hip-hop world. 50's been, in cahoots with DMX here and there. He's done records with him. I think he would nail that down packed. I think he should hire a guy named Quake from Diverse Mentality who could do a really good job telling the story. I think that would be really good. Shameless plug. No, whoever he goes with, whatever, just the story. I think 50 would handle it the best. I mean, another person, Swizz Beatz being involved, Jay-Z, Irv Gotti would be, he had a role in DMX's career as well. But I think Irv Gotti and Jay-Z and these people should just be people that talk on the documentary, not have really a part about producing it. I think 50 would do a great great things with that documentary with Swizz Beatz. I think he should work with Swizz Beatz, to come up with something for DMX's biopic. Yeah, I can't wait to work on mine. Hopefully they notice it. I will love to send it to them once I finish it. And, we'll see if maybe they notice it. They say, hey, we want to work with this guy and blah, blah, blah. Who knows, man? You never know in this world. You get random messages from people. But my eyes are, regardless, I want to see it. I don't care who does it. I just want to watch a DMX biopic. And, I want to deliver my own as well, because I think I can deliver really well when it comes to DMX's life story. Because DMX to me is one of my favorites, man. I grew up with him. I think Slippin' is one of the best hip-hop tracks that has ever existed. You can't match the pain in his voice, the sample on that song, the production, everything about that song is like perfection. It's rare that a hip hop song is like perfect, and that one is just like straight perfect. There's nothing wrong with that song. It's like everything is executed perfectly. And there's only a few rappers that have ever done that to me, where they delivered a song that was just perfect. Like there's nothing wrong with the record. It's not too long. It's not too short. They don't miss on the verses. They don't miss on the hook. They don't miss on the production. They don't miss on the delivery. All that's perfect. Usually in some songs, like they'll miss on it being too short or too long, or one verse will be better than the other, or the hook won't be that good. You'll get records like that. But that song is like just, there really isn't. It's in my top 10 of all time. Like it's one of those tracks that I love. But yeah, we'll keep our eyes posted and see, man. Regardless, I'm excited of whoever does it, whenever it comes out. I can't wait. So, yeah, we'll see. Before we continue, I want to give a shout out to Golden Eagle for sponsoring this podcast. Yes, if it wasn't for Golden Eagle, this podcast wouldn't be possible. If you're looking for an energy drink that doesn't tear a hole in your pocket, Golden Eagle energy drink is the one you want to get. Golden Eagle has the smoothest taste with no aftertaste. You don't get acid reflux when you drink it, and you will save a lot of money. So check out Golden Eagle at drinkgoldeneagle.com/DMP. The link is in the description below. And how do you think this podcast would be possible without me having energy to do it? Come on, guys. You guys got to remember this. I need energy to do this stuff, man, because there's a lot of crazy topics. So look how smooth this thing sounds. Look at it. Oh my God, it's fresh. Look at that Golden Eagle. Look at the can. It's so beautiful too, man. Look at that. That's so fresh, man. So fresh. Golden Eagle energy drink. Go to the link description below. That's drinkgoldeneagle.com/DMP. Let's continue the episode. 6ix9ine is wanted on international warrants. Yes, he's got warrants around the world. Your favorite rapper can't even travel outside of America to perform. So why you hating? I'm just trolling. 6ix9ine is a wanted man courtesy of an international warrant issued by a court in the Dominican Republic, which is where he was living until recently. On Thursday, August 29th, the Dominican outlet Dario Libre shared the latest update regarding Tekashi's legal woes in the country. Reportedly, the Court of Appeals in the Judicial District of La Vega posted an international warrant for the Gummo rapper's arrest. The court said that the controversial rapper has been in rebellion outside the Dominican Republic since June and is asking for him to be arrested in any country where he is found if he does not surrender voluntarily. The warrant is related to Tekashi's arrest from October of 2023 for allegedly assaulting 2 producers whose lawyers recently filed a motion requesting Tekashi be taken in. So we'll see, what happens moving forward, but it's not looking good for him, man. Having a warrant, I mean, the chances of them getting him, especially in America, now that he's in America, is very, very slim. So we'll keep our eyes posted, but he is trying to make a comeback and do his thing musically again. And if he gets that sound going again, I think, he can make a comeback. I like the more aggressive, like Gummo sound. I don't mind the Gotti Gotti, those type of records where he's like a little bit singing. I don't mind that as well. But overall, I don't mind 6ix9ine coming back into the music industry and making new music. I would love to hear it. So I know a lot of people hate that opinion. I know a lot of people don't like 6ix9ine for whatever reason. I don't understand the reason, because he snitched, I guess. But if somebody's doing things with my woman and stealing money from me, I am going to snitch. There's no protection on that. But then you can flip it and say, why did he get involved with gangs in the first place if he's going to end up snitching? Whatever. It's a whole shit situation. So I know everybody has their own points of view. Me, I personally don't give 2 fucks if 6ix9ine snitched or not. It has nothing to do with me. If the music's good, it's good. It's that simple. And he's got Gummo. That sound was really, really nice, man. Something aggressive with an aggressive voice, although he didn't really look that aggressive with the rainbow hair and stuff. It was like very opposite of each other, but you know, it is what it is. I liked that sound. You know, if I would have heard Gummo and never saw 6ix9ine as a person, I would have thought this guy was like a huge, just gangsta and just, you know, look like 50 Cent buff and just like, you know, crazy stuff like that. But, you know, it's the total opposite. But I enjoy the music regardless. But yeah, we'll keep our eyes posted. I doubt he's going to get locked up. The chances of that are very slim. Let's talk about 50 Cent basically addressing finally Rick Ross for the first time. He is appearing on the $1 Million Worth of Game podcast actually today as of the recording of this episode. So I won't be, you know, be able to review the podcast episode and talk about what he's talked about on there because I haven't seen it yet. Regardless, he appears on there and they drop like preview clips of the podcast and he addresses Rick Ross. And let's see what he has to say.
Seen Ross take a shot at you a couple weeks ago about a girl that you're not even with no more. And then, what is it with you and Ross that's just been going on for so long?
I spent it to you, right? Nothing else works for him outside of mentioning me. When things get bad, you mention me, it gets covered further. You'll see TMZ and say, 50 Cent said this is going to be bad for Irv Gotti's career. I get covered across the board.
Yeah.
They get covered on the hip hop blogs. It is what it is.
Yeah.
And you watch because I have nothing else to say. You'll just see it happen periodically as it goes.
Yeah.
You know, you see that big white elephant, that property he lives at? It costs more than the nightclubs. He's in the nightclubs.
Yeah.
We know what they can give you. They can't pay you more than they can pay you because the room can't hold enough people for them to give you the money to stay there. He can stay until he a squatter, holding on to the leg of the chair that they move. But that's what it is. It's just a part of presentation.
Yeah.
Come on, bro. You can see this. You don't need me to say that. You know this.
Yeah.
Look at it. What kind of rich nigga cut his own grass? Why you out there cutting your own grass? You trying to save money, nigga? You don't want to pay for the lawn to get cut, huh?
Let me ask you
The
this.
AC broken in the motherfucker.
Let me ask you this.
He's right. That's just the facts. I'm not saying this because I'm a 50 fan, but recently, every time Ross mentions 50, he gets covered a lot more. If you look on his Instagram stories, he'll mention 50 and then he'll post a product placement right after because he knows that's when he gets the most attention. And 50's been smart in not responding to him or really the game. He'll rarely respond to them directly. He'll troll them like he trolled Ross and Meek Mill's album sales. He said they did whatever the sales were, but he didn't say their names. He trolled them, at least in one of the video clips. I don't know if he said their names other times, but in that video clip, he never said their name. He hasn't really directly responded to Rick Ross in a minute, which is surprising from 50 because usually he's the one that goes back and forth with people and decides to, you know, go at them and stuff like that. But I think Game, Ross, those are two individuals that want to use 50 for attention. And Ross, let's be honest here, William Roberts hasn't had anything relevant come out of him in a long time. What has he had, that car show? Like, what has he dropped musically that's been relevant? What has he dropped? Anything for the culture, TV show, movie, anything entertainment-wise that's been relevant. You could say 50, obviously, musically hasn't been relevant in a minute, but you can at least say, hey, he's part of the culture with the Power, BMF. He's out and about, you know, doing deals, doing this, doing tours. He just did a tour that generated $130 million. Like, that's something music-related. What has Rick Ross done in the past 5 years? Has he done anything really relevant besides beefing with Drake and dropping a diss track to Drake? That's it. So when people were like, yo, when I did the 50 versus Ross video, Who Really Won, which I want to update, when I did that video initially, you know, I said 50 won the war. I mean, 50 is just way more relevant. And here we are. That video, I released that video. That was the first long format beef video I ever released. That was released in 2017, 2018, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. We are 7 years later, and 50 is way more relevant than Ross is in every field. Right now, if Ross were to drop an album, it would not sell that much, man. It would probably sell 20, 30, maybe 40,000 copies if he's lucky. Now, people are going to be like, well, Quake, what about 50? If you were to drop an album, how much would he sell? I think it would sell more than 40,000. I'm almost willing to guarantee that. That's not even a question in my mind. But 50's kind of gone off music. Let's just say Ross does something else. what does he have that's really relevant out there? Bel Air, I ain't gonna lie, I even buy Bel Air. Bel Air, he has something to do with Bel Air. Okay, that's cool. That I respect. Other than that, just Instagram videos, him doing interviews here and there, and like nobody really cares. Everybody's kind of moved on from Rick Ross. 50's still part of things. Whenever he says things, it gets headlines, and he says that in the clip. But Rick Ross responds to him and trolls him, and this is what he had to say.
I just seen a clip of the Wallow show where he was interviewing 50 Cent, and the other little dude asked him a question, small talk. But ultimately, the question that should have been asked was, you jumped out there during the beef, the West Coast versus the Canadian, and I thought Dr. Dre put you on. I thought Dr. Dre was the set. I thought you was loyal to Dr. Dre. You mean you went with the Canadian over Dr. Dre? Who you say changed your life? I thought loyalty, but you did shut the fuck up once the Canadian took the L. You got totally quiet. You did. And so look, this is where I want to have the ring at in Thriller of Manila. Right in my front yard. We got acres and acres and acres. It'll be right here in the front yard. You understand what I'm trying to say? This is where we'll put it at, right here. We'll put it right here. This is where I want it at. Thriller and Manila. I have 15,000 people right here, just right here in the front yard for the car show. This is where we're going to put it at. And 50 Cent, whatever you trying to do in Shreveport, I understand the land is very inexpensive. So that's why you chose that. But you could put that on the other side in my backyard. I got another 150 acres on the backside. I won't even notice whatever y'all little thing is y'all doing. We wouldn't even have to cross each other's paths. I'll put you way in the back. Trust me, y'all can film all y'all little whatever shows. Ghost Part 9.
So there you have it. Ross is, talking about, the whole Drake and Kendrick thing and how 50 sided more with the Drake, which when people were saying that initially, I didn't understand it, where they were coming from. Now I get it, because he posted more of the Drake disses than he did the Kendrick disses. And he reacted more of the Drake disses. And the reason why I think 50, he didn't really side. I don't think he sided with Drake. I think he just recognizes more. He recognizes Drake more because that's a level that 50 was at, where everybody was attacking him. And then he had to respond to everybody, like the piggy bank thing. So 50 kind of, understands the Drake side more than Kendrick's side. Because Drake's been on top for a while and he's addressing everybody. And 50 did the same thing. When he was on top, he was addressing everybody. But, I don't think he's taking a side. I mean, if you look at Human and Harmony weekend, he literally had a team that was TDE, Top Dog Entertainment, which is obviously, Kendrick isn't signed to them anymore, but that's still Kendrick's camp. He came out of there. He still has respect for them. He still talks to them, blah, blah, blah. So you have TDE as a basketball team and then Quality Control Music. So if he wasn't cool with them, Top would have never showed up, blah, blah, blah. They would have never had communications. And who knows what they talked about behind the scenes. 50 could have talked to Drake, talked to Kendrick. Kendrick is not more of a public person. Drake is. So I don't really see it as 50 really taking a side, because when you look at the history, 50 doesn't have a song with Drake. There was a rumored recorded song with 50 and Drake back in 2013, 2012 during the Street King era, but there's never been an official released song with 50 and Drake. There is one with Kendrick, with We Up. There you have it. So I think, people are just trying to grab on straws here and, say whatever. Ross is saying the same thing. You're supposed to be siding with Kendrick, West Coast, Dr. Dre, blah, 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 blah. Just a trolling tactic. And then he talks about how his huge land, 50, you bought that cheap land in Shreveport. Why don't you come over? To be honest with you, Rick Ross, I live in Georgia. At the time when you bought that house, it was cheap. Georgia was very cheap in houses. When I moved here in 2015, the average house was like $120,000, $100,000. Just nothing. Now every average house is like $400,000, $500,000. So a huge difference in price, which I'm not saying $150,000 house is cheap, but hey, compared to now, if you can get a nice house for $150,000, that's dirt cheap. Now you have to pay at least $300,000, $350,000, $400,000 for a nice, decent house with some space. So imagine Rick Ross back then when he bought that house. When did he? Let me see. I'm actually going to look up Rick Ross buys Evander. When did he purchase this house? 2014. He sold it. It's unclear how much Ross paid for the mansion, but the starting price at auction was $2.5 million. So he paid more than $2.5 million. I'm willing to bet it went back on the market at $8.2 million. Nobody bought it at $8.2 million. So it had to be under $8.2 million and above $2.5 million. I'm willing to bet he paid, let's just meet right in the middle, like $5 million, right? That's not specifically right in the middle, but whatever, $5 million. Right now, this fucking house is probably worth way more than that. Let's see what the address is. I don't know. I can't find the actual value. I would assume it went up from 5.9 million. I would assume. It says 5.7 million right now. Yeah, so it has a really, I don't know, based on what I'm seeing right now, 5.7. Yeah, I haven't really seen, I keep seeing like 5 million. That 600 is definitely fake. There's no way it's worth 600. Whatever, let's just say it's worth, it didn't change in price. He's still, at the time, the market was cheap, man, for houses. I'm willing to bet it went up in price, though. I'm willing to bet it went up in price. Regardless, you know, Ross got this place $6 million. 50, what he paid for that Shreveport area is probably a lot more because we don't know how much acres it is. I don't know. Maybe it might be less. I don't know the numbers on it. Let's see how much land did 50 Cent purchase. Okay, we're seeing purchase prices of $281,000, $1,345,000, $275,000 as well. So you're looking at basically like $2 million he spent 50 just on some of this. Now I don't know if this is the 100% land, but $2 million for all the stuff that he got has invested over to, yeah, so about $2 million he spent. Hey, that is, Ross kind of right. That is cheaper than Rick Ross's place. But, hey, it depends on location, depends on, you know, all that stuff. So Ross is right on that aspect, is that, you know, 50's part is cheaper, but, you know, 50 could also bring value to the place and increase the prices on those. It's all about what you bring. And where Ross is at in Fayetteville, it's so far out there, like it's nowhere near like a lot of the areas that move a lot in Atlanta. So regardless, Ross, you know, could honestly house 50's unit films, television. I don't know the square footing of how that will work, but he has spit facts on that. There's no hating on that end. Funny though. See, that's what I'm saying. Like this battle, I think this beef is one of the funniest beefs ever. I don't think it's ever going to end. 50's always had issues with Ross, Game, and Ja Rule. I think those three, just based on what happened in their beefs, it's never going to end. It's just going to be a situation where they all hate each other forever. Even though Game flip-flops over back and forth, Ja Rule's always going to hate him. Ross always going to hate him. And then Game goes back and forth. 1 week, G-Unit, I love G-Unit, let's do a reunion. Next week, fuck 50, fuck this, blah, blah, blah. So that's always happened for years and years. But, yeah, funny beef, great back and forth, because Ross can match 50's trolling abilities, which is rare. Most people can't do that. But regardless, 50's right. Ross doesn't really get mentioned anymore in a lot of things, man. At least I can't remember things that he's been mentioning. Musically hasn't been relevant. He's not really doing anything else outside of music that's been really impacting like that. 50 has. But we'll keep our eyes posted. Let's get into it. New Music Friday. Big Sean dropped his album, Better Me Than You, and I've been seeing a lot of great reviews for this album. Like I said, I'm not a big fan of Big Sean, but I'll check it out and see. I did check out Vultures 2. I don't even want to review it. It's a bad album. I only like 3 tracks off the album. I might end up reviewing it, man. Fuck it. I might just do a review shitting on the album. I don't know. It's a bad album. Nothing like Vultures 1. So that's why I kind of never really did a review on it. If it's a really bad album, I just don't care to talk about it because I'm just going to be shitting on it the whole time. And I don't really want to do that. So whatever. I'll see. I might end up doing it. Big Sean, Better Me Than You. I got to check that out. I'll check it out just for the review purposes. And, you know, we'll talk about it. A$AP Rocky dropped Taylor Swift. It's a single. Cordae dropped Summer Drop featuring Anderson .Paak. It's produced by J. Cole. Lil Tecca dropped Bad Time. Chance the Rapper dropped 3333. Kalani dropped While We Wait 2. Mixtape. Sleepy Hollow dropped Nostalgia. Currency and DJ Fresh dropped The Tonight Show, the sequel to the album. There is no album sales. I was going to go to album sales. It hasn't been updated. I think it's because it's Labor Day weekend. I could be, you know, in America. You know, I don't know if that has a role in updating the sales, but it wasn't updated. It's the same as 2 podcast episodes ago where I, you know, review the sales. Post Malone's still number 1. Nothing changed. And it says debuted at number 1. So clearly he debuted last week. So I don't know how that's a thing, but hey, it is what it is. So no updates on album sales at all. And that's it for today's episode of the Diverse Mentality Podcast. As usual, appreciate all of you. Sponsored, aka powered by the one and only Golden Eagle Energy Drink. Get your Golden Eagle Energy Drinks at drinkgoldeneagle.com/DMP. They've sponsored all season 4 of the podcast. So show them love for showing us love. Spotify, Deezer, Pocket Cast, YouTube, all that. Have an amazing night, day, whenever you listen to this, and peace.